Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a new and exciting product from our friends at Fleur Audio, the new Fleur's Pro.
We've already met some Fleur products before in a previous review where we looked at the isolates. So you can check out that video if you've not seen it already, but this is a brand new product from them which we're going to review today.
So one of the most impressive things with this product is, if you've been looking on social media at the Fleur stuff, is the box that it comes in is quite spectacular really. If you're into sort of unboxing of things, then look at that. It's like the Allspark. I'm not sure.
Which is the top?
Well, I don't know. I think it's any ways up, really. It's kind of got this weird thing to it. I think it's meant to make it look like acoustic foam that you would see inside a studio. Yeah, soundproofing foam. So you've got all these kind of like chamfered edges, which is very cool. Plus, imagine if you bought something in a box that looked like that. You'd be well pleased with that. That kind of tells you exactly how good the thing inside is going to be. So the box is really impressive, but what's inside is even better. So let's see what's inside of it, shall we? Let's unbox it. So, layer one. What's in layer one?
So in layer one, you have the Pro earphones. They're with the titanium drivers.
That'd be this bit, the metal bit. Okay, and what have we got in layer two?
On layer two, you actually have the earphones themselves. You also have the Bluetooth receiver and a micro USB cable.
To charge it up.
Charge it up, yeah.
I think in terms of the earphones there, on that layer you have the everyday ones, and you have the audiophile grade ones as well. There's three types of earphones with this, but two of them are in that layer. Okay. And they come in a small, medium and large in both of those, which is good. So lots of foam tips to put on your earphones. And layer three.
So layer three, you have the carry case for the earphones, and you also have some extra universal earphones.
Cool. More earphones. That's all good, isn't it? So for all of that goodness and a box that looks like, I don't know, a Tesseract or Allspark kind of thing to keep them all in. Obviously you don't have to carry them around in this, that'd be a bit... Imagine if you had to carry that with you.
In your pocket.
I think I would. Imagine just walking around like that. That'd be amazing. I don't think anybody would question it, they'd just think, wow, that is a really cool box. Yeah. It's just outstanding. Anyway, what price do these come in at?
These come in at £349 exactly.
Yeah. Now, so a lot of people are going to think that sounds quite expensive. When you think about it, these are not just your average everyday headphones or earphones. Sorry. Yeah. These are audiophile grade earphones. These are people who are really wanting to either listen to music at a clarity that you would only need if you're in a studio. You'd have to be really passionate about it. You know, that's that kind of price point. They're not your everyday 50 quid headphones or your standard Apple iPhone headphones. That's not what they're about. Okay, cool, that's brilliant. So, one of the important things we decided to do with this is, because these are so revolutionary, is we decided to speak to the scientists, the research and development team, the inventors at Fleur's as to why this technology is so important. So, let's cut to the science bit. Okay, so after speaking to the, should we call them boffins? Yeah, the clever guys at Fleur's who put all the technology together and invent all the new stuff, what they've said is that the reason these are so different than any of the technology before is that the whole premise of this is built on the fact that they don't have a chamber or cabinet for the sound to resonate in. And that's quite important. the best way of testing how a cabinet or chamber works, because this is what's included in most earphones, you have like a driver and then you have a chamber for it to resonate into the sound, is if you cup your hand around your ear and try and listen to things, or almost the same effect as shouting into a box, that's what you're going to get. It's not great for sound, it resonates, it sounds a bit, well, not great really, but it's what's used in most things, it's what's used in speaker design, and what the guys at Fleur have said is that maybe that's not the best way to do that. If you really want great quality sound, that's not the greatest way to do it. So they've stripped all that back and decided that a resonating chamber is not the way to go. So they have a driver, and in front of that they have got finely drilled and precisely drilled jet system. Now what this does instead, one, it's called a jet system, so to buy a set of earphones that say you've got a jet system in them,
it's got to be great.
I can't think of anything better than that. It's like, hey, have you got some new earphones? They have a jet system inside of them, and they've got a box that looks like that. You're not going to get better than that. This jet system focuses the sound directly at your eardrum, so instead of it bouncing into a chamber and bouncing around and having all of that effect that a resonating chamber has, it's straight at your eardrum, it's as pure as you can get. So the old approach with a chamber is obviously, the other earphone manufacturers don't just put a chamber in front of it and think, well, whatever happens, happens, is that they would normally put a chamber in front of it and then have to tune or shape the chamber to try and get the sound they want. Either that, or they would use wadding or EQ to try and make sure that sound sounds correct. That just all seems like a bit laborious, and you're having to kind of correct things that you don't need to correct if the chamber wasn't there. So I think this jet technology is the purest way of getting that sound. Yeah, without that resonating chamber, you're going to have no resistance, all the pressure's going to be even, everything's going to be compressed properly. You're going to get true symmetry in sound, as the guys at Fleur's say, which is very impressive. So to get them to this new and revolutionary technology, which I assume is going to sort of permeate through everything they do in the future, they had to think about things in a completely different way. So they've had to go down to looking at sound on a particle level. There are no test machines that can test what the human ear hears. So there's test machines for speakers and earphones, but they don't really give you a true approximation of what's actually going on. So if you go down to a particle level, one of the best parts of the conversation I had with the guys at Fleur is that they said, we are all swimming in particle soup. You don't get any of that in the box, it's just there. So it's all about how you direct those particles. If you direct them into a chamber, they're bouncing around everywhere. If you direct them straight out and through a jet system straight onto your eardrum, there's nowhere for them to go. The most important sort of reference for that is, imagine you have an effect on something. So you've got a reverb on maybe one part of a track, and all of that sound gets fired into a resonating chamber. All those particles are being disturbed and moved around in that chamber. By the time it hits your ear, part of that effect is on every part of that track. Well, that's not what the person who created the track wanted you to hear. They wanted you to hear that reverb on that one particular instrument. So with the jet technology, that is what you get. It's not possible for it to cross over, for that to be affected on anything else with this technology. So that's the science bit.
So the most important test for any set of headphones is obviously what they sound like. So after speaking to the guys at Fleur, they recommended 2 tracks for us to listen to. Now they told us to listen to an older track and a more modern production. The reason for this is obviously equipment has advanced a lot since, say, tracks from the 60s, and the audio quality is not actually going to be the same as what it is today. So it's a good reference to listen to an older piece of music and a more modern piece of music. The older piece of music was Help by the Beatles.
It was.
And the more modern piece of music was The Pretender by Foo Fighters. So what did it sound like?
First of all, it's probably important to say that for anybody who knows me knows that I cannot stand the Beatles at all. So, as you know, in the efforts of science and in the name of science, I decided that I would have to listen to it. It was interesting actually, because the Foo Fighters Pretender, one, everything was clear. Normally I find that track to be really, really loud. Obviously it is a loud track, there's tons of stuff going on, it's kind of like full throttle. Quite a heavy track for what I would listen to. Obviously it's not the heaviest of music going. But there's things in there that you couldn't hear. You know, there were bass slides that were really, really clear and crisp. Things were positioned nicely, and you felt like you were immersed in it, and you could hear everything. You know, there was points where you could hear sort of like the tick of a bass string, and you think that's actually clarity that I wouldn't get in any other earphone. In terms of the Beatles one, the sound quality was that good that I managed to forget that I was listening to the Beatles. So I listened to the entire track, which is hard going for me really, because I just don't get it. I really don't get it. But yeah, incredible. You wouldn't have thought that. Obviously, there is a difference between the two tracks because they're recorded a long time apart. Yeah. You know, the technology is different, but the sound quality was brilliant. I would dare say if I put those two tracks into my car, they would sound so much. There'd be so much different between the two of them in terms of the quality of sound. But with these, yeah, it was interesting. Again, with the Beatles, it was a case of everything was positioned nicely. You can't fault that really. You know, that is the best earphones I have ever listened to anything through. They're probably even better than the Genelec speakers that we've got in the studio, and I like them speakers. So that's pretty good. Well done, guys. I think it's important as well to reference the fact that with the price point they're at and what they are, they're going to be up against what other manufacturers do stuff at this price point.
Sennheiser, Bose,
Shure, yeah, some Shure stuff. I don't think build quality and sound-wise, I don't think you can get that for that price, yeah. Especially the Bose stuff, because a lot of the Bose stuff colours the sound itself anyway. Yeah, they've got like a pre-EQ system for everything they do. This doesn't have that. It's great. So it's even good for listening to the Beatles on. If you don't like the Beatles, these okay. If you don't like the Beatles, these earphones might make you like the Beatles. Is that a plus point?
Yeah.
There you go.
So let's talk about exactly what the earphones are made from. So the actual housings are from a grade 5 titanium.
You're not going to break that.
No,
that's
indestructible.
Not like, yeah, it's not a plastic headphone. It's not anything like you'd see from Shure, etc. Where if you stood on that, yeah, you're not going to break titanium with your foot. I don't think. No. That's great. They also have 5.5mm beryllium drivers. If you actually look into the headphone, you can see all the finely drilled jets in there and everything. How they fit all that into that small housing is down to the fact they don't have a resonating chamber, so you've got this sort of small form factor with sort of maximum punch from those drivers, which is really, really good. What else do they have?
So where the cables actually connect into the piece where it comes into the single cable to obviously connect to whatever device you plugged into, they're actually gold-plated MMCX connectors, which are a bit unusual connectors if you've never seen them before, but they're very, very secure and they're very, very high quality connectors.
Yeah, it takes a bit to sort of pull them out, but once you've got them, they are definitely secure. Okay, they also have reinforced and stress-tested polyaramid cables, and the cables are kind of funky design actually. It's like a black and grey,
tri-coloured
clear-coated. It's great. Yeah, it's a really good looking thing. So it's all kind of black and white and grey. Very cool. Okay, it also comes with Bluetooth, so the important thing here is that you do not have to be connected by a cable to everything, so they've thought about that as well. You get this handy little device, this little pack, and it lights up blue. I don't know if that's for Bluetooth or the fact that blue lights are just very cool on things. But it says Flirs on it, it's very nice. It's got your MMCX connectors on top to connect to your left and right. They are labelled on the cable, so you can't really get it wrong. You've got your charging point underneath.
And how long does it last for, the charge?
Ooh, charge, right. So playback time, I think you've got 12 hours. It takes 2 hours to charge. Okay. Standby time is 150 hours if you just don't touch it. Wow. And the range, it's got a really good range on it. It's 15 meters and it's Bluetooth 4.1 as well. Wow. So that's really, really good. You know, what else is in the market that's Bluetooth at the moment? You've got Apple's, is it Earpods? Yep. Yeah. I can't imagine the sound quality is going to be anywhere near what they are.
No, definitely not.
They're expensive. You might as well spend a bit more and get an absolutely fantastic set of earphones and have this nice little Bluetooth pod that you can just clip onto things. Clips on quite nicely to your coat. I tried that today. Yeah, all works perfectly. You can't go wrong with that. Also in the Bluetooth pack, you have a shielded earth, which means no crosstalk whatsoever. It's better than the 3-pin jack. It just can't be achieved any other way. So they've really, really thought about that. It's a very powerful little device. Great. It's very good.
So I hope you found all that helpful and informative, and if you're someone who is into some high-end earphones, obviously these retailing at $349, so they're a really quality high-end piece of kit, head to the Flare Audio website, check them out, or talk to us here at the studio, and we can give you hopefully any information that you might want.
I think the bonus is as well with this is that if any, Fleur sell everything in parts as well, so the earphones are the thing that people worry about, but I wouldn't really worry about it in terms of the audiophile grade ones are the kind of sponge that you would see on, or very much similar to the ones you see on the Isolate earplugs. Right. I've used mine for 12 months and I still haven't destroyed the foams on those. I'm not sure if the sort of slightly more flexible everyday ones would sort of be broken any easier. I think it depends what kind of person you are, whether you're sort of looking after stuff or whether everything's sort of getting thrown about. But you can buy replacement earphones on the website, so you can get everything from the universal ones right up to the audiophile grade ones. And I think the maximum for those is sort of $19.99 for a set of audiophile ones. So you're looking anywhere between just under £10 up to £20, and you've got yourself some new earphones. So the drivers are never going to break. They're in that titanium housing. You're never going to be able to shatter that unit unless you really, really, really go at it with something. But you can replace the earphones. Now, an added little thing to this. After playing around with this and sort of looking at the Bluetooth functionality, we have come up with a thought. Musicians like high quality audio. So this might be for you if you are a musician. They also like listening to high quality stuff when they're on stage, and they don't like using monitors. They like using in-ear monitors. Currently, a lot of people use the plastic ones made by Shure. They're quite expensive, especially if you buy wireless kit as well. It's getting you're into a couple of £1,000s worth of stuff there. Are they the best? They're very good, but these have Bluetooth. So we've come up with an experiment that we're going to do in another video, so watch out for that. Which we're going to see if we can turn these into the highest quality, most reasonably priced monitoring rig that money can buy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.